How Basketball Saved My Life is sponsored by the Hall at the Rail House, Norman's premier event space in the heart of downtown. Weddings, receptions, corporate events, luncheons, banquets, proms, parties, and more. If you're looking for a place to celebrate life, we hope you'll choose the Hall at the Rail House, located in downtown Norman. This episode is brought to you by Chris Express Drugs, located in South OKC. For all your sports medicine needs, call 405-735-3950. Again, that's 405-735-3950. They are open Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., and Saturday, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m., and closed on Sundays. This episode is also brought to you by Emmy Labs. First, they partner with the State Department of Health to bring you free COVID-19 tests, and now they have partnered with the State Department of Health to bring you free COVID vaccine tests. So, make your appointment today at www.emmylabs.com. Welcome to another episode of How Basketball Saved My Life. I'm your host, the Easy Button.
And your boy Twan and Don.
And we have a very special guest in here for y'all today. Very special. Dr. Nick, how's it going? Thank you. Appreciate you.
Definitely nice to meet you.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
hair pause over here.
This man hands so good. Probably palm my whole head. Hey.
It's average.
Average for guys who are 6'7", probably, right? Dude, listen, this is season 3? Season 3. We started in, January, February of 2020.
It might just be over a year.
We're just over a year. We're already into season 3. This is such a blessing. And the guests keep getting better and better. And so
I hope I don't let you guys down.
Oh, well, we won't let you. We won't let you. And, we're just happy you guys can get a chance to keep tuning in. We're going to just jump right into it because I'm excited to hear this man's story.
Definitely.
Okay, so boom. Where are you from for those who don't know?
Yeah, I'm an Okie from the beginning, man.
Okie dokie.
Yeah.
Homegrown.
Yeah, absolutely. Ardmore, Oklahoma. Ardmore Tigers.
Okay.
Born and bred and still there. Everything a Tiger. Absolutely.
Man, honestly, I thought you were Italian, and actually you are Italian,
Yeah.
but I thought you were moved into the States like I moved into the States, from overseas.
Yeah.
So is your family from Oklahoma as well, or?
Yeah, I'll give you a history there. So,
Yeah.
I'm not your average Oklahoman. I've lived a blessed life in a lot of ways. So yeah, my father's from New York. So I guess I'm a second generation American. My grandparents moved over here on my father's side from Sicily. So my grandmother came over as a child. So my father and then me. My father, how did I get to Oklahoma?
Yeah.
How did that all happen out?
Do tell.
Yeah, I was born in Oklahoma, born in Ardmore, but so my father grew up in Queens, New York.
Queens.
Yeah, and Astoria, and my grandmother till the day she passed just a year ago. Same apartment, 5E, and 2 bedrooms, just her and my dad and his 2 siblings, but. So he was young. He played at LaSalle Academy in New York, and was all city. Was recruited by Syracuse, was Kentucky.
How big was your dad? God,
my dad about my size.
He had some offers.
Blue blood.
Yeah, and
just about.
But
yeah, but he played against Lou Alcindor, all city there, and just both Power and LaSalle aren't in existence anymore.
Right.
But just a lot of history there and a lot of stories. But kind of to get to where I am. So my father was 17 when he graduated from high school, and he said, there you
Same
go,
here.
there you go. And he said, I want to see the world. He had these offers. He said, I want to see the world. He wanted to get out of New York. Just a rough time. We can have a whole other segment on my father.
Right.
But just a rough time. So he signed up for the Marines out of high school.
instead of going to play sports.
did 4 tours in Vietnam, 3 Purple Hearts and a Bronze Star.
Wow.
Salute.
Decorated.
He was, and it didn't stop there. So he just stopped. When he came back, he said, basketball was going to be his route back into the world. And whether you know it or not, there's a little junior college in Tishomingo called Murray Junior College, and it actually used to be kind of the breeding grounds for major colleges. And so Murray offered him a scholarship to come to Oklahoma to play basketball. Now,
Murray State now.
Murray
Yeah,
State,
okay.
junior college, and he's in their Hall of Fame. He was the leading junior college rebounder, point, all this.
What?
All 4 of the 5 people on his team all made it to the NBA. Okay?
Dang.
Can we get some names?
Yeah, I can get them to you. Absolutely. But, he went there. That's where he met my mom. My mom's from Wapanucka, Oklahoma.
Learn something new every day.
I won't even be able to pronounce that.
Wapanucka. And I think she graduated with 3.
What?
3.
3. And so they met. My father came to Oklahoma. First time he'd ever seen flat sausage. He'd ever seen bread that could be sat on a shelf for more than 2 days without going to bed.
Straight up.
Yeah, and had never driven a car.
Wow.
Met this little country girl, and that was it. And I thank God every day for that.
Absolutely.
But because this would not be happening.
Right.
That had not.
How big was your mom?
My mom, she is about 5'8".
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So she's a good size.
She's nice. Yeah, and that's where the competitive side comes from.
Yeah.
But yeah, just a country girl. And so they met in junior college, and he finished up at Southeastern playing basketball. And he always had a heart for kids. And they both went into education. My mother was a kindergarten teacher in Ardmore for 31 years. My father started out as a teacher of special needs students, and got his law degree at night, and ended up, before he passed a few years ago, was an associate district judge in Oklahoma.
You're really a product of educators.
Yeah, absolutely, and blessed.
And blessed.
Yeah, so that's how I got to Ardmore, Oklahoma, because my parents got their first jobs there and stayed
Right.
there.
All right.
Awesome. So then,
Oklahoma does like to kind of grab people.
I don't know how.
It's
He's
hard to leave.
California,
Right.
Florida,
New York.
Basically,
York.
New York, right.
Yeah.
and yet we're all in
Grab people in.
Oklahoma.
Yeah.
People
Hold on
ask me.
tight.
People ask me every time they meet me, you have kind of an accent there. You're not an Oklahoman. How'd you get here? So I sometimes have to sit down and have the same conversation.
The why is, so like my father's the only one who stayed, right? So I still have some uncles and stuff in New York, and everybody else stayed back east. But my uncle, Vinny Mastro Pasquale, said it perfectly. He
Sound
said,
like a mob boss.
whatever. You can't buy a box under a bridge for the price you can buy a nice house in Oklahoma for in New York.
I'm telling
You
you,
can-
That's why people get here and stay, and they
You
go,
can
you got
say
all this.
that
the
again.
cost
Yeah.
of living is beautiful.
Yeah, so that's the why. It's a beautiful place. So anybody outside of the state of Oklahoma, it's the best place in the United States.
You can say that again, for
So,
real.
anyway.
So, well, I'm excited to know now, like, who got you started in basketball, and was that your first sport?
No, actually, it was my second or third sport. I didn't play basketball up through like 8th grade. I was this
Okay.
tall, lanky kid. Actually, I was a knuckle dragger. My legs were long and my arms were longer, and I'd walk around. But Robert,
Knuckle dragger, it just hit me.
yeah, I mean, literally. And an 8th grade basketball coach said, "Hey, I need you to come out." Now, my father, they never pushed me into anything. He said, "You're going to go into it because you want to go into it and you want to love it."
That's
That's
nice.
it. And so, it started in 8th grade, Coach Meeks, and in Ardmore, Oklahoma, and just went from there.
My story is similar because Haiti, soccer is our first sport. And so when I moved here, I had never really shot a basketball. Moved here, I was 8, so a little bit younger. And then I get to middle school, and I'm growing a little bit, and kids see me and they ask me to play basketball. I'm like, I don't play basketball.
Yep.
And they looked at me like, you don't play no basketball. I always tell people, I don't succumb to peer pressure. But that's one that I'm glad I did, because they looked at me with such disgust. Because, like the tall kid that doesn't play basketball, boy, you get ragged on. So it was probably the best time for me when I decided to play basketball, and I was in the 8th grade. And then the story continues. Freshman year, I tried out for my first team. I actually got cut. I'll let you watch that show on your own. I'll tell you which episode that is. And you can go check it out.
I'll do it. And I'll play.
But so that's pretty awesome though, because like you started the game so late, and yet you got to certain places that people didn't get to. So we'll get to that. So boom, what was your first sport?
Hold
then?
it. So 8th grade, could you dunk it?
No, I could not dunk it. Were you dunking it?
Well, so when he asked me to come out, he said, "Hey, come to the gym. Run up there. See how high you can jump on the rim."
Yeah.
And I just jump up and grab it.
And you didn't know you could do that?
First time.
First time.
I probably could have done that. I didn't even try.
Or 8th grade.
First dunk in the game was in the 8th grade? Golly.
So sophomore year of high school.
I didn't first dunk until sophomore year in high school.
It wasn't talent. It was just
Shit.
given.
How tall were you by 8th grade?
Oh man, what was I? Probably 6'2".
6'2".
Yeah.
So that's tall.
Yeah. I told you I was long.
8th grade, I think I was probably like 5'10",
Yeah.
11, somewhere around there. That's a big
Yeah.
boy in 8th grade.
Yeah,
So,
I'll have to show you a picture of me in 8th grade holding a book. In this yearbook, my upper body's like this big. And my
Long legs.
And these arms like.
looking like a cartoon.
Associate with you long, man.
I don't know how else to say it.
No,
Gangly.
That's funny. There's this cartoon, I think it's called Adventure Time. And my man got the super short upper body.
Yeah, with the long
And
legs.
that's literally what I just thought about. I don't know if my man had name. I'm gonna have to figure that out.
probably
So he said it was probably Nick.
I don't know.
So then you played another sport all the way up until 8th grade,
Yeah, I played everything, but
basketball.
I played baseball, just little league. I played soccer, football, as you might call it.
Football.
And then football.
Yep.
But I just played. I was just a kid, 821 G Street Northwest in Ardmore, Oklahoma is where I grew up. And
Straight up.
I just played. I just went out and played whatever came next. The YMCA.
So at this time, what was your love then? What sport?
Oh, my love was fishing.
We both just got thrown back.
Yeah,
I've never been to Ardmore. I'm guessing there's a lot of water then.
Oh, there's a lot. It's halfway between Oklahoma City and Dallas.
Okay.
It's right on I-35. Just a great place. But my mom, you forget, is a country girl.
True.
So my grandparents had land and ponds and all of that. And I told you I lived a blessed life. So I'd spend my summers, half my summer in Ardmore or out on the farm in Wapanucka,
Right.
or in New York at my aunt's deli. So
Plenty of water there.
Yeah, so just back and forth. So, but yeah, I was not this kid who's like, I'm all into sports. I'm all in. I was a kid, and that's what I think my parents for is too many kids nowadays. Their parents just make them focus on something. I just loved everything.
Yeah.
I had the ability to do it all. So
I like both angles though.
Right.
I like the angle where I'm gonna give you strategic something to do, because had I not had basketball, I don't know what I would have turned out to be. But then also I didn't pick up a basketball till as late as you, and it kind of got to come to me.
Oh.
And so so I like it from both angles. And my little dude, he's 7 now, and I'm kind of letting it come to him for that same reason. But he's showing passion in one area, and so I'm pushing him in that area.
Do it, yes.
Just so he doesn't get to where he's now I don't have anything I'm focused on. I just do whatever, So you got to focus on something. But well, at least I think he needs to. But yeah, so I'm like 1 foot in this door and 1 foot in that door.
But good thing for you guys both had your fathers to just kind of give you that opportunity to do extra. See, I just naturally gravitated to playing basketball. It was just an outlet for me. So I don't know, with my son, even though he's really, really young, all he does is play with balls. And I don't know if I dribble a lot, so he just naturally wants to play with it. So I guess that's a good thing too, though, just naturally going to it. So both angles.
Yeah, no, if there's passion there, just like in anything with a kid, I believe all parents, if you see a gift or if you see passion in your kid in something, you support them. I don't care if they're an avid reader,
Right.
or if they like playing with basketballs or soccer balls or Legos,
Right. Doesn't matter.
You grow their passion, because passion can be transferred. You can't teach passion.
Ooh,
I like that.
Bars.
There you go.
Gym alert.
But you can't.
That's facts.
So, because how many times have you coached and you know those kids? They got more heart than anybody. You cannot teach passion or
And
heart
they can go apply that heart
to anything.
to anything.
It's called being competitive, being a competitor, and that's hard to teach.
Nice.
So it doesn't matter what it is. Teach them how to focus. Teach them how to, just
Go all in.
Go in and do it. Do everything with all your might. And when you leave the court, you leave whatever you're done. I gave it everything I got.
Right.
So
Right. So then you finally start playing basketball.
get to the real.
Oh my goodness, I can't wait.
Can't wait.
So you finally start playing basketball. Mm-hmm. When did you realize, like, okay, Migliorino is here. Like, I'm here.
Yeah. So I never knew about my father until eighth. I mean, I knew my father, but I didn't know his basketball.
His basketball history.
And so he always,
He didn't even talk about it. You didn't hear about it. You didn't see it on the walls.
No.
What?
No, he's very
Low key.
Yeah, very much in everything in life. But once he saw me have interest,
Pull out the archives.
yes.
Fell into it.
But it's you talk about the strategies and getting out there and kind of that old man knowledge and kind of all that stuff.
So when that happened, was you just kind of so surprised?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
where did this come from,
He'd
Dad?
get out and go play in the YMCA, and I'm like, you do.
He puts it between the legs, throws it down.
No, I could always jump higher than him, but he could get better position. But yeah, it was. I hear people talk about their parents and how they taught them those things, and my dad really focused when he saw the interest, he was all in. But until then, he just let me find my way. So.
But when did you realize you had arrived?
When I got into high school, 9th grade, and I was
1 year in.
Yeah, so no, I was on the B team at Ardmore Middle School.
It gets better and better. I love it.
I was on the B team. I didn't get cut. I was on the B team.
Right.
And I would be the kid who, I didn't even know the rules of the game. I'd go score on the wrong end, or I'd fall on my back and throw the ball up and shoot it and make it.
Movie style.
They'd put me in warm-ups so I could go dunk it and then
the other team.
Where'd he go?
Yeah, but it was 9th grade. The high school coach, Ted Younts, Hall of Fame high school coach, went to Texas even and won the state championship there. But he said, Nick, come in here in the office, and it's down underneath the stadium or the gym, and he said, hold up your hand. So I do this. He puts his hand up there. Okay.
he's assessing right now.
Yeah. And so he is the one, I don't know that I made it, but he was the one beyond Coach Meeks who got me in. He is the one who showed the interest of he gave me the confidence.
Right.
And that's when that freshman year, I was on the freshman team. And at the end of the season, freshman season, he said, I want you to come up and finish the season with us. I'm like, that's pretty cool. I got to ride the bus, got to be with the big boys.
Oh, yeah.
And so really my sophomore year, started playing a lot. Halfway through my sophomore year, started starting. And, we had some teams, and there's some, if you don't know Ardmore, you need to
I'm about to
Ardmore.
say,
There's some athletes.
I hear there's some athletes.
A lot of OU athletes, even Grisham, all of them came from Ardmore.
Didn't know that.
A lot of NFL players come out of Ardmore. But anyway, I got to play with them and learned a lot. They took me under their wing, and really that sophomore year then was my year. I figured out at the end of the year, I can do this.
You were like,
they got two legs, and I'm better than them.
Yeah.
And
my legs happen to be longer.
Yeah.
So
I could jump
how
higher.
tall were you then?
I hit about 6'4".
Oh, you was a force.
No, I was string bean. I was that, but not as
You were KD.
I wasn't KD. I was thin like KD, not his strength. But that was it. And then I got picked up AAU playing in the summer. You guys don't know the names from around here, but John Carter, Ryan Hopgood, Randy Rutherford, all of them. They played all over. I got to travel around the United States. Eric Montrose, Damon Bailey, those were all my class.
I mean, your game must have picked up a lot then.
Playing in the summers with them. AAU was just kicking up. I played for the Rams and the Trotters here in Oklahoma. I don't even know if they still exist.
I heard those teams.
Those were the teams then.
Yeah.
But we went all over, and like I said, we Damon Bailey, one of the best point guards around. He's a coach. I don't remember where he's coaching now. Eric Montrose, 00 for North Carolina, went to. And Sean Bradley, 7'6". You ever been against someone 7'6"?
No. I haven't even seen someone
7'6". I think we're in Vegas. Maybe I don't remember where it was. Maybe it was Dallas. But he was out there, and he was like this poster child, and he's 7'6".
7'6".
And he went to BYU, but he'd walk out there and just grab the rim and hang, just kind of
and just look at you.
So we were practicing with brooms. People with brooms, but I learned a lot there. I learned a lot of things with them, so I got to travel around with some really good guys.
Dang, Sean Bradley. Now I respect Sean Bradley first and foremost. I'm about to say something right now.
Okay. His posters.
Nah, every time I think Sean Bradley, I think about the time Tracy McGrady dunked on him.
All his posters.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. All his posters.
Not even all of them, just that one. Just that one, because Tracy McGrady was my guy who kind of got me started in terms of, somebody to watch. But that's pretty dang cool. That's pretty dang cool. So I want to say probably after your 11th grade year, you're getting some major offers. I'm
getting some, Bill Self, come down and see. The cool thing about Coach Self is he'll still remember my name to this day if I saw him somewhere, and from Edmond Memorial.
Get him on this show.
Edmond Memorial. But it's just one of those things, though. But as I've told you before, I really feel like I was immature. I was really immature. All this stuff is flying around me. I don't even know where I am. I'm playing. I'm having fun. I'm doing this, and I'm getting offers and calls and talking to. But I'm just really immature. And I don't know what I can do. People are telling me what I can do, but I don't see that far away.
That's probably the one downside to starting so late. Mm-hmm. You're not quite in it long enough to have your own vision.
Correct, absolutely, and just that self-realization. But I see it in my kids too. Whatever. I wish I was maturity 3 years younger, with the same maturity I have now, because I think it would have been different. But things happen for a reason in life, and I thank God every day for that too.
Right.
Everything happens for a reason. But so getting some offers, visiting Self, and we fly from Las Vegas into a summer camp at OSU, and we're doing things.
That's where he was at the time.
Yeah, he was at OSU at the time. And from there he went to ORU, then to Kansas.
Right.
But got to meet some people, got to do a lot of things, and ended up accepting a scholarship to East Central in Ada. And the honesty is I had
just wanted to stay home.
I had friends there.
Yeah.
I knew people there. Okay.
I have nothing against East Central.
No.
But you didn't go to OSU because, okay, let me ask you, how far is, I'm really not an Oklahoman, I'm trying to learn. How far is Stillwater from Ardmore?
2-3 hours.
Yeah.
Okay.
An hour.
Ardmore's 90 miles from here. But that's beyond. So I took that offer early on. I said, East Central, I'm going. That's it. So
home is where the heart is.
Yeah, but honestly, it was immaturity. I really believe it was immaturity and not seeing that future.
So your dad didn't have any say in anything?
He let me do my thing. Really, really big on it. And everything in my life, my parents have guided me, but they have always said, you're going to make the decision. We'll give you it, but that's, and right, wrong, it worked out.
Yeah,
definitely.
Everything works out. And that's just, my parents, I never had a curfew. I never had any of these things because they trusted me to make my decisions.
Right.
Now, if I made the wrong decision, I had consequences, but in everything in life, they trusted me to make my own decisions. And
so do you give your kids a curfew?
my wife does.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And I support her 100%.
That's right.
So, no. But yeah, so I ended up at East Central, got in there, played basketball, some great players, a lot of people, still around here. And, probably one of your next questions, what happened then?
Oh my gosh, I'm like,
Yeah.
Well, before that, do you think if you would have went to OSU, things would have been different basketball-wise?
Yeah. I don't know how.
Right.
Because you don't know. You look at is your future set out for you, or do you make it? I believe.
let's get deep real quick. That's a great question. Let's get deep. Because I always ask that. Is it preordained or is it each branch, has its own leaf or, whatever. Like,
Right.
what do you believe?
Yeah. So I think somewhere down the road, everything's going to end up one way. We're all going to end up same place.
Same
somewhere.
place, for
Right.
sure.
Absolutely. I think right now your destiny, though, in this world, this life, is a matter of choices, not chance.
How you get there.
Yep. What choices do you make along the way? So it's not chance. It's not preordained. I think your end is, but how you get there, it's all about choices. You deal with kids every day,
Right.
right? They make choices. But how do you get them there? So.
No, that's good. I mean, there's probably 1,000 ways to drive one place to another.
Absolutely.
But that's the same destination.
Some people get stuck going around the same block for a long time.
I've done that.
Some people want to take the scenic route. Some
Yeah,
people wanna go straight
absolutely.
through.
And that's a different route for everybody.
Right.
That's what makes us all individuals.
Absolutely.
Your experience, my experience. But you know what? We're all sitting right here.
Right.
Absolutely.
So-
So back to my favorite thing about this basketball.
Yes.
East Central
Tigers.
Tigers.
Still.
Hey,
Ada, Oklahoma.
How did that go, and how long did you play there?
Yeah, so I played there for a year. What happened was I got a stress fracture into my freshman season. Got to play, and kind of a fun thing there is, a lot of kids been there for a long time. You come in, you make your name. I missed my first dunk in a game.
That was your first time missing a dunk.
Miss a dunk, hit my elbow on the rim. I stole the ball, hit my elbow on the rim, and it goes back the other way.
Dog!
you must have bounce.
I can just imagine he cocked it back like this and went too far. Just
The scar on my head.
you're kidding.
No, I told you. I had
Bro, he was
I had a
Earl
good
Manigault.
first step, and I could jump. That
Can you shoot it? Could you shoot it?
yeah.
How many bodies did you think you caught dunking on people?
Come on now, don't be biased. This ain't the place.
I'll just say I'm slippery. No, I know. The older you get, the stories get better.
No, and they should.
They should. That fish was this big.
That's right. At least that was a fish.
Yeah. No. They're my fair share. Fair share. And but growing up, dunking wasn't. I was like the only kid on my high school basketball team who could dunk the ball.
That's awesome.
Now you see these kids. I mean, there are more and more kids dunking the ball like crazy.
For
No
sure.
matter what side.
No, and I'm like,
You didn't have to do a jump program either. Now
right,
kids
no.
are doing jump programs.
They're doing everything, but that wasn't the thing. Mine was a 15, 16-foot turnaround jump shot. It was. I could still do it today. Muscle memory. I'm probably getting this off the ground today,
Oh man,
That's all Dirk needed.
now we gotta go get him to show that footage.
yeah,
we gotta
I got
post
it. But the thing is, I wish I knew that step back.
Oh my goodness, we wish we
That's
knew.
what I said. We were just talking
We
about
got
that
out.
the other day.
I mean, really,
We got
that
out of
changed
the game.
It
We got out of
did.
the game just after,
Yeah.
right
Even
before
the Euro
back.
step, because I
Right.
felt like the Euro. I had just got into college when the Euro step come, but
Yeah.
when I perfected it, I'm done with college.
Yeah. How old are you?
I'm 31.
31.
49.
Not bad. Looking good.
So.
Thought you were a lot younger. I thought you were a lot younger than that.
You got. If you did a fall away, the coach said, you got to go
The
straight up.
fadeaway, yeah.
You got to go in. And now,
Let you do that step back
Yeah,
then.
they want you to do that. The Euro step, that wasn't even in my vocabulary.
Yeah.
I'd never seen that. And but yeah, there are some things. The ball, I don't know. We used to play at the old Wilson Jets, leather, heavy, slippery. The balls they got now, I can just
Yeah. Velcro.
I mean,
first of all, you gotta think your hands. Have you ever measured your hands?
no.
You know how you can go to like, I don't know, I'm sure they got it at the Thunder, where you can put your hands up and measure against somebody.
There you go.
Listen, I remember going to a Orlando Magic game when Dwight Howard played there, and you could measure your hands against his. My hands were so, I mean, it was like, I think your hands are like his hands.
No.
Every time I shake your hands, I just pull my hands back.
And
I'm
then
just like,
when he shakes you with both hands, always the heart.
like, give my hand back.
I can't.
Give my hand back, man. Dang.
Air Paul's
So
over
you need to
here.
look for the Sports Illustrated fold out of Dr. J's hand.
Is it that big?
It's like here and it folds out.
Are you kidding?
No.
His hands can fold out.
Dr. J,
That's
it's a
crazy.
fold out. See if you can get your hand on that. Put that in this room.
We'll have to do that.
Probably be the whole picture.
Sports Illustrated.
We'll have to do
No,
that.
I mean, that's what, literally, my hand is his palm.
Yeah.
His palm.
That's crazy.
So, anyway.
That's crazy. I got to see that. Now,
No.
like I'm not a historian because I don't go find stuff, but like
Yeah.
that stuff
That's memorabilia.
it gets my gears going. It gets my
Yeah.
gears going.
Yeah.
All right. So then you said 1 year at East Central, then you got hurt. Did
Yeah.
you rehab? Come back?
Yeah.
What was that process?
So I rehabbed. I had stress fracture in my foot, and it's from playing on the cement too much, is what
And we try to tell people.
I'm telling you. And
Especially for you jumpers.
yeah, I'm telling you. And that was it. And I was rehabbing out on the football field and at East Central, and one of the football coaches came out and said, saw me out there running sprints because it was soft, and
You still 6'4", 6'5" at this
about
time.
270. Had about 35. Well, actually over a 36 vertical. So
Easily.
and I could put that on top of the box. So whatever that is.
That's more than 35, 36.
So in the past.
But go ahead.
Yeah, so he starts throwing me passes, and I'm just running out there, once again, still pretty naive, and I'm just catching them like a basketball, like you're going to catch it and turn it down, and he keeps throwing them, throwing them over here, throwing them over here, and I'm just catching them.
Yeah.
And he's like, So they asked me, would you ever think about
Like that high school coach.
It's your hands.
But so yeah, they asked me to come out, and I'm like, yeah, sure, why not? I played
Just like that?
pretty much, and I played in like up to 9th grade in high school, not really anything,
Okay.
and we played and had fun and did all right, but I didn't know anything. I didn't know there was an A gap and a B gap and a one
Right.
whatever.
I still don't know what you're saying.
Yeah, and I still don't either. But I could long snap too.
What does that mean?
Like for a punter or for, and I can still put a hole in your chest long snapping. And I wish I knew that was a thing. Because I could have gone to the NFL long snapping.
And been good.
Been good.
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah.
even got to get hit.
Yeah, no. But anyway, yeah, so he asked me, and I'm like, all right, I'll try it out. I'm thinking I'm off season, I'll work out with him. And that's kind of, I think, how it went more is, hey, you want to come work out with us? Because I needed to
Get back in shape.
And one thing became another, and I just got in with those guys, man. It was like a family playing football. I mean, they hung out together, and that was one of the differences in basketball, whether it was high school or anywhere else. We kind of went to practice, went to games, and then went our own way.
Right.
And so, like, yeah, what the heck? They don't overlap. The basketball coach said, you can do both. Okay. And so ended up playing football, lettering in football for that season. They won the OIC championship, which was
You went to football and balled out.
I did all right. I played tight end, a lot of special teams, a lot of that, because I didn't know anything. I mean, I'm like sitting out there on this football field. I remember at practice, once again, you become a family with them, and I'm like going the wrong direction. I'm not blocking. And I'm like, I can't get this.
You're getting people laid out.
But I'm like, this can't be hard, because I'm looking over here going, I know I'm as smart as these guys.
Right.
But how do they know all these plays? And so the coach is getting on me, and one of the tackle, Harjo is his last name, he said, Coach, he doesn't know the system. And so once they told me that, I started figuring it all out. But long story short, right before the OIC championship game, which kind of sent me in a different direction, I was playing tight end in practice, and I was pulling, and the guard pulled behind me, tripped and fell on my back and my leg, broke my femur, and blew my right knee out. And I passed out, and it sounded like they said a shotgun. Ooh. So that kind of changed it. Surgeries aren't the way they are today.
No, sir.
And I was in a cast from my hip to my toes for 6 weeks, and kind of changed my trajectory, and that kind of ended it.
Wow.
Ended it right there.
So that was the end of your football stint.
Football and basketball.
Yeah.
You can call. That was kind of it.
Interesting.
Yeah. No, it wasn't fun.
No, not fun at all.
So
I'm just like I hate hearing about people's injuries because I could just picture them. Mm-hmm. And those sounded pretty gruesome.
Yeah, and those are common, not how bad, but just common way someone's going to get hurt every time in football.
Not if, but when.
Right.
Not if, but when. And, but that's not the end of basketball.
So, and we don't get into
basketball.
I was sad, but now I'm back.
Yeah,
I'm back. So, word on the street, and I got this word from somebody else, not the doc himself, was that he was at a tryout or workout with the Dallas Mavericks.
Now you gotta tell us how you got to that, especially after being done with college that way.
So no, I was at a tryout.
And going to a small school.
No, and so it wasn't anything official, and it was down there because I knew some people in the Mavericks organization just from my past and everything, and got to go down there. There was no hope, no nothing. I mean, it's and there's
they love some athleticism though.
They love it, but I'm gimp. So got to do that, and it was a great experience, and that was one of the things, and kind of fast forwarding that I've tried to pass on to kids now, because I had those connections when I taught at Irving and coached at Irving. I would load buses up of kids, and we got to go behind in the locker rooms, the Mavericks playing the Bulls, playing the Lakers, playing the Spurs. They got to get down on the floor, they got to shake hands and see those
That's
things.
Fire.
So it was good stuff, and changing. These kids in Norman Swim never left Norman,
right?
And especially over there by Irving, and some, and so that's why I say things happen for a reason. I wasn't meant to do that.
Right.
I was meant to do this.
Right.
And use basketball to make those connections and help kids.
And that's kind of what we're doing right now. That is a phenomenal story. So then, how'd you get started coaching? When did you decide to do that?
Well, that was it. So I hurt my leg. So I wanted to be a nurse or sports. I went to East Central, and they had a great nursing program. I showed up there, and they said you can't be in the nursing program if you're in athletics and basketball. They both take too much time. So I decided I'm going to get a degree in math. Okay, so I did that. And after
I knew you were a numbers guy. You said, remember, it's called math.
Right.
It's called math. Arithmetic.
There we go.
I got my provisional certificate in education because I didn't know what I was going to do. Mom was a teacher, Dad was a teacher, so
that's what you knew,
right?
Yeah, and coaching. And so I knew the coach at Norman High School. I knew some people around, and got here and got a job at Irving Middle School and coached basketball there and assisted at Norman High. And then when the school split into two, went to Norman High with Doug Tolan, who's he's been a college coach around.
I hear that name a lot.
And learned a lot from him. But that's how I got into coaching. And I got my fair share of texts.
Oh yeah, wouldn't love it if you didn't.
And had a few words to say to different people, but we always won. We always got the best out of all the kids, and still know most all of them today.
Shoot, got a couple. If I recall, I was with Sean Bauman not too long ago, and we were looking at some of those trophies from Norman High. Were you a part of that state championship team?
I was the year before, because I left and went into school administration, went to the dark side. And, but I was the runner-up year. There's a ball in my office signed by some of those kids on that team.
Fire.
And good stuff.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So that's it. And then I got. You might ask how I got out of coaching. Why I got out of coaching.
I'm thrilled to know.
Life's about passion.
Right.
And I caught myself at Norman High sitting on the bench watching the game instead of coaching the game.
Because you were just enjoying it.
I was enjoying it, and I thought, man, the kids deserve more. and then this. And I'm watching this and loving it, and I want to support them. But the coach, you got to coach.
Right.
You got to look at everything all the time.
All the time.
And so that was kind of my first step of, maybe it's time to hang them up.
How long did you coach for before?
It was just 4 years.
4 years.
4 years, four full years, which I think coaching, you live in dog years.
Yeah, for sure. It feels like a lot longer.
It's time. It's time. And, hats off to all those guys and gals who devote their lives to those kids. You look at, our coaches here in Norman, and it's not a season. It's a lifestyle.
Right.
It's everything. It's, they're doing summer leagues, they're doing night ball, they're doing everything all the time.
Right.
And just building those athletes, programs and,
For
all the
sure.
stuff that didn't even exist.
We actually just had tryouts.
Oh, yeah?
And our podcast is called HBSML.
Uh-huh.
And we're having a basketball organization as well, just to keep giving back and doing what we do. So
Yeah.
so you're hitting it on the money.
Yeah. No, it's a lifestyle. I think back, I was talking to Rayford Young the other day.
Yep.
Trey's dad, and he was telling me, even Trey, what he did to get to where he was, because he's an athlete. There's no doubt.
For sure.
But him and his dad going after games to the YMCA and doing dribbling drills,
Right.
just doing things. What did I not do right? The time people don't see you is when you get better.
Right.
Right. Go ahead.
I was gonna say he was on the show and he said something that we didn't even know.
Right.
Was the fact that Trey was overseas with him playing older kids.
Mm-hmm.
Just things that you just wouldn't see, wouldn't know.
Yeah.
Overseas, I mean, like,
Or even his good connections with some of the team's organizations.
Oh, yeah.
The video man sending him a little film of top guards. So
Steve
he's
Nash.
studying
Oh,
top
yeah.
guards as a young kid.
Yeah. Well, that's that passion, and then that's where parents or coaches or mentors come in and can really help someone go to that next level. Because at the end of the day, it's not what you do on the court that makes you great. That's what you get noticed for. What makes you great is what you do when no one's watching.
for
Behind
sure.
the doors.
For
You
sure.
know, it's like in our jobs now, whatever you do, it's the reading you do at night. It's the preparation you do for whatever your job is.
Absolutely.
That makes you good or not.
Absolutely. Wow.
Not,
That's a great story, but we ain't done yet.
so have I let you down?
No, sir. No, sir. That's a great story, man. I'm I'm processing it all because you had such a short but fulfilling
Oh, yeah.
sports life. Like, I mean, mine was short. I started at 8th grade, from about 13 to 24, 25. That's really a 10-year window. That's not a lot.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, dog years, that's a great way to put it. I've been coaching since 2015, but I feel like I've been coaching forever.
Yeah.
Such a time commitment.
Uh-huh.
And one of the reasons I want to do organizations and want to do things like that is because I want to be able to leave my imprint and keep servicing kids while I find a way to give back to my own kids and be more present for my own kids. And so, you set the next building block, in hopes that it prepares you for what you really want to do. And, I guess I need to ask you this because you maybe can help me with this. How is it that you're able to, how do you deal with putting so much into other kids and how do you deal with not just making sure that you don't forget about your own? I guess I can put that another way. I'm like trying to find a way to word that, because I'm like, man, I put in a lot of time with other kids and I get home.
Yeah.
It's late night. I'm going to get a coffee,
Yeah.
Doc, and I'm going to make sure I come home with enough energy to play with my little kids.
It's tough. It's a tough world. And I want to backtrack just a second to lead into the answer to that. Basketball. Everything we've talked about, whether it's a short career or not, and call it any sport, right? What you're doing in sports and what got me to where I am, whether people think where I am now is a success or not, what's got me here is learning how to network, learning how to make friends, create friends, and relationships. Because I guarantee you, there are a lot of people I played with I wouldn't call them a friend.
Right.
But going through that, persevering through the hard times. I was all state, I was all these things, right?
Right.
But how I got my foot in the door in a lot of my jobs after is because of basketball.
Right.
People know my name, people recognize me, or we have a connection
From basketball.
That's the piece.
Met him in basketball.
That is what so many people miss. They're like, very few kids make it to college on a scholarship, and then
Right.
even fewer make it on. There all those stats out there. But every kid in sports makes a connection. Every kid, and you teach them how to use those connections in life, how to get to where they want to go, set those goals. That's the power of basketball. That's the power of sports, is the connections you make along the way. 5 times 5 times 5 times 5 times 5. How many people you make?
I'm not the guy who was a mathematician.
I joke around a lot, and that's the way I deal with a lot of challenges in life. And so I jokingly say a lot of times, I've spent more time with other people's kids than I've spent with my own.
Right.
One side of it is my kids recognize that. They recognize the positions I'm in, and that's a sacrifice I know my family has willingly stepped forward and made so that we can have the life we want to have, right?
Sure.
So that's the sacrifice piece. That's kids growing up and seeing dad doing these things and then understanding the why behind it.
Right.
But the ability to, make sure you have that energy and make sure you have that time to be with them. And I don't think it's all the way I did it, right or wrong. Everybody knows I'm not perfect at all. There are so many faults there. It's the time you do spend has to be quality.
Quality.
It's not always about the day in, day out, because, you, me, you, I leave before anybody in my house wakes up, and I'm home most of the time after they get sleep. So I'm not going to wake them up.
Right.
But when you do have those times, making a conscious effort to have those times, you show up to their games, you show up and you be there and you be present when you're there.
Present.
And because you're not going to be there all the time, and they'd much rather you be present than just there.
No, that's great. That's great.
That's my thing.
That's great. So basically, just to recap that, it's them maturing to know this is kind of, well, not really maturing. Once they've given you their blessing, then it's something that you can continue to do so y'all can live the life.
You have to have that conversation.
Absolutely.
You have to have that conversation. This is why dad or mom or whoever does this. Now, I do have to say, though, you haven't asked me about my kids much.
That's true. That's true.
And I'm not going to slam them too much.
Oh, yeah.
I love them.
Oh, yeah.
But not one of them plays basketball.
Oh, that just hurt me in my
kids
soul.
do not like trading sweat.
What do they play?
Well, I got 2 girls. I got an 8th grader and a junior who play volleyball.
What are their names?
Ava and Laurie.
Ava and Laurie.
Yeah.
Laurie's almost as tall as you.
She's about 6 foot.
Yeah.
And she's got some springs, some hops.
She picked a good sport to play, though.
Yeah, she's got about 10-4. She can touch 10-4.
What?
So
Longevity.
lifetime sport, man.
And she'll probably get a scholarship for it. So the athleticism
absolutely.
is still a connection there.
No, absolutely, it is.
Now
It's
you
a
got a
round
new
ball.
sport you like to watch.
Round. It's round. And
Dad blocks. I'm sure you got a lot of blocks.
Dad can say, jump high, hit hard.
There's a net involved.
There's a net involved. Thank you, guys. Man, this is
great.
Thank you.
We get
there is
turn volleyball to basketball.
There's a lot of assists.
It's funny you say that, because so if I'm watching football or anything, like I'm super just basketball centered, right?
Yeah.
And I'm gonna be like, oh, get that bucket. He got a touchdown. Bucket, and then my wife's looking like, that's not a bucket.
Yeah.
So,
well, I can picture you running around the house going, go!
Go! That's me. That's me.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Yeah, but my son plays baseball. He's a pitcher. Once again, I want you to draw a connection there.
Longevity.
Longevity, yeah.
Yeah, it's round.
Throw hard. Catch.
There's a catch.
So,
He's got to run fast.
Oh, no.
Run fast.
Long sport.
Oh, sorry. That was me. That's why I would have never lasted in baseball or volleyball, because I don't know if you guys. So when you're playing, you pick something out about, I don't like you for some reason when I'm on that court.
And then we're gonna go at you.
We're gonna go at it and go at you, and I don't like you for some reason. You can't do that in volleyball because you can't cross that line.
You can't cross
You
that
just
line.
gotta hate that ball.
You got. So you got to hate that ball. Is it Wilson? Is that no?
What kind of name is Wilson?
Yeah.
Watch Castaway. You'll find a way.
So someday maybe, but yeah, the pickup games in the driveway, all my kids want to play is horse or pig or something like that, and it's sad.
Yeah.
It sounds like they like longevity.
They do. They like lifetime things.
Hey, but seriously though, like you've had a surgery, he's had a surgery, I've had a surgery, and I find myself saying, if my kids don't play basketball and they don't have to feel how I feel sometimes, and I know I'm only 31, I don't want to imagine what y'all go through,
What are you saying?
Hey, I'm trying to watch my words. I'm trying to be careful. I'd be okay if they don't wake up and, it's like they're breaking out of their shell every time they get moving. I'd be okay.
Or not only that, just the pain that we had to feel going through that injury, not being able to play the sport that we wanted to play.
I mean, the bottom line or the near depression that came from recovering from that.
My last one, I went through a lot of depression. I got a lot of weight through that one. That one hurt me hard. So,
I mean, when you face your mortality,
yes,
in anything,
that's what it's called, right now.
Mortality, Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, it is. I mean, when you face, I have to go to this next chapter in my life.
Yes.
And I have to give up something personally that I love.
And it's crazy because since then, I feel like this is the first time I could say I probably ended that chapter from the injury to maybe doing something next. And that's because meeting someone I knew in basketball, and he got me back engaged.
There you go.
In that type of situation.
It's connections.
It's been a long chapter from 21 to 31.
That's, what, though, you're here.
You're here.
You're here.
So
that's it.
That's crazy to say that.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it is. So.
Trick question.
Better not be trivia.
No,
I'm horrible at trivia.
I'm awful at trivia. Don't invite me to trivia night unless you're.
Unless there's food.
Unless there's food, I'm gonna eat all your food.
Yeah, only if it's a question like, and I learned this because it got me because I'm not a baseball person. Is there a right-handed and a left-handed bat?
Oh yes.
Go grab the left-handed bat.
No, there's not a left. Trick question. What is your favorite sport?
What is my favorite sport?
That's right.
It's whichever one I'm watching right now. No.
Exactly.
No, it's right now, honestly, my favorite in my heart and my knowledge is basketball. My favorite sport is whatever my kids are playing.
Absolutely.
There you go.
Absolutely.
It's not a trick question.
That's a good dad. That's a good dad right there.
Boy, and they make sure I sit far away.
That's right.
Because I mumble.
Yeah.
You don't want to be. You never lose that competitive side.
No.
I want to be in front.
Go get it.
No, not my position. You don't. They want dad in the shadows.
Hit that ball.
Yeah. So.
Get it. Yeah.
No,
Well,
this is good.
Before we close, I have to ask you. Right now when this airs, it'll probably be a couple weeks. But we're in March. What is this? March 2nd. This is nearly around the time where the country.
This is same.
I mean, I don't remember what it is to the day.
Literally prior this week.
Yep, it was this week.
It was this week.
Yes, my son's birthday was the 28th, and literally they shut down the world.
Mm-hmm.
And we're like 1 year later.
Post-trauma.
Right now. Mm-hmm. And where were you guys when this time happened last year? Like, I can't even get it out because I think I'm just traumatized. I can't even say it. I can't even ask the question.
Yeah. Where was I?
Yeah.
I was at my house getting ready to watch the Oklahoma City Thunder game, and actually had a bunch of senior baseball boys. My son's senior year was last year, over at my house, and all of a sudden, they just announced they're canceling the game because of COVID. They're, or what was his name?
Rudy Gobert.
Rudy tested positive.
Playing around.
What? I mean, that was just like one of those sinking feelings. And we haven't talked about much about what I do right now, and being a superintendent of a school.
I was trying to,
No, it's good. It's good. But just, oh my gosh, how this is going to impact those 5 boys sitting at the table who just now, I know, I'm going to have to cancel their senior season.
Dang.
4 of the 5.
Oh yeah, excuse me. You're the big bad wolf in this situation.
I am. And well, actually, 3 of the 5 have never played. This is their first year on varsity baseball.
Wow.
And I know that they have just played their last high school game. That's where it hit me, and then everything else that followed. But that was the moment.
Wow. I mean, shoot, where was I? I was on the way to the Thunder game. I actually got some Dippin' Dots for my kids and started eating it on the way to our seat before they stopped us from getting in or going to sit down. And you hear on the intercom, and dude, I was gifted some really good seats, probably for a reason now, looking at it. Someone knew something, right?
Man.
But seriously, like, I remember, and everybody's kicked out, we gotta go, and it was just like, the traffic, it was just odd. Just everything was just so odd. The traffic to leave, the traffic to get on the highway, the traffic on the highway, trying to find food because we intended on eating there that night. So then we had to find food, and nothing was open because of, everything that had transpired. Nothing was open. We couldn't find food anywhere. And we go home that night, and I mean, that was about it. It was just like, everything was shut down after that point.
Yeah, I can't remember exactly where I was. All I can remember is the hysteria, and there was no toilet tissue.
Because you had to go.
Remember.
He probably had to go.
Oh my goodness!
I do remember that is when HBSML started.
That is when around
podcast, and we were like, we're gonna start. I was like, man, this is probably the best time for us to start it. Nobody can go nowhere. All they're gonna do is watch stuff. Let's start it now.
That's true. We did.
Good.
We did.
Yeah, it's been a year though.
That was crazy.
It's been a year.
So then,
I think I was still in shock though because Kobe.
That's what I'm saying. That's it's been
like
a year.
It was crazy. It was just like boom, boom, boom.
I still just know it's just not real. It's not real. I mean,
like that whole year, just so much stuff was going on. So
just odd. It's just so odd.
I remember. Kobe was a little younger than me, but I remember when he was coming up in high school in the stories, because I was at Norman High School, and they were like talking about this Kobe kid. Kobe who? What are you talking about? Kobe kid. And just 2020 has not given us much. Good.
No.
I'm glad it's over, I'll say that much.
But on the flip side of that, sports kind of stopped the world from spinning, and it seems like it's giving back also.
It's bringing us back together.
And it's bringing us back together, and it's allowing us to continue.
Mm-hmm.
And how have you been able to see that as a superintendent?
Yeah, it's my whole goal has been, we've been in a school district that's been back in school, and I wish other districts and other people had the strength to put kids in school. And it's not the popular opinion with adults. It is not. And COVID sucks. COVID is an adult issue on so many levels.
Yeah.
It affects adults mentally, physically, and the virus itself. I get it completely. Kids, though, the social emotional side of kids, they need to be together. We need to figure it out. And that's what we did. We figured it out. Our kids, we've been in school since September, doing good. Kids have been doing great, and we've been creating memories for those kids. We've been creating opportunities, keeping them together. Have we had bumps? Yes.
Absolutely.
We knew that. But, hats off to all our teachers and everybody else who just did it. We figured it out. We set the hard line out there. We are going to school. We are going to have activities. we're going to follow these guidelines. Maybe just parents can show up. Okay, let's play.
Right.
And I don't care if it's play an instrument, play with basketball. Let's get together.
Let's watch a play.
Let's celebrate them.
Yeah.
And let's get our mind off all this negative crap on the news. Because that's all we freaking see is negative, negative, negative.
Being in school has been a major aspect of healing. Mm-hmm. And then the activities from it, the fellowship from it, just the interactions, you know, sports and being in a classroom has definitely led to some of that healing as well.
Yeah. I mean, and guys, we know it impacts people, man. People are dying. It impacts everybody differently. You know, a friend of mine from Ardmore, a fellow colleague's husband just passed away, Carl Franks. I mean, once again, you don't know how it hits you, but they were traveling and watching their daughters play ball. They were doing things, and Carl was living life. He was an athletic director, just an incredibly great man, a mentor of mine. But you can't stop living, or you will die.
Right.
And
for the most part, whatever you guys are doing is really doing a good job, because I feel like out of all school districts, I feel like you guys probably had the least bumps.
Yeah, we've you know, outside looking in, we've handled it pretty well. I'm pretty lucky. You know, not everybody agrees.
I do know.
Well, but outside looking in.
Yeah,
but
but really, we have not had real issues. We've we've taken it serious. Anytime there's any case, we quarantine quickly.
Right.
That group, and we separate them. And I think that's the reason why we've stayed to it and we've stayed diligent and
follow all the guidelines that's provided.
We're not perfect, but
sports season been going all season, so it's been going.
We're celebrating, and I'm going to games. People are going to games. You want to go to a game? Let's go.
Right.
Playoffs this Friday
and Thursday.
And Thursday.
Sorry, there's another school in town.
That's true.
There's another school in town.
I'm thinking about going to Tulsa this Friday. Shout out to my man Mike Neal.
I'm telling you, Mike.
We love you, baby. We love you. Come back on the show. Come back.
Hey, for real.
Yeah. Two schools. Two successful schools.
See, in his, he gets to watch both. He
gets
to do both.
Norman.
Look, he gets to do both.
This doesn't stand for Nick. This is Norman.
Oh, you sure about that? Man, well, this was more than I bargained for, and I am thrilled we got to hear your story. I cannot wait to go edit this.
I cut a lot out.
So I can put it out. This might be the episode before we even start this season. I mean, this was great, and I mean, I'm thrilled.
Yeah.
I appreciate you coming.
I appreciate the opportunity.
You're a busy man, and you gave some little people
some hope. I saw a spark in you. You talk about basketball. How did we first meet, and how did we, kind of, we take care of each other.
One thing I will say, and you, from day one, you walked into that classroom when I was teaching, and he said, you ever need anything, you contact me directly, and I've been able to do that from day one.
Yep.
And so, man of his word. So, thank you guys for hanging out with us as we drop gems that we picked up in these gyms and the football field, the classroom,
the fishing,
the lakeside.
Yep.
Peace. We forgot a very important
you're gonna have to start over.
Come on. We forgot a very important segment. Okay. Got to get this man's John Hancock or his Dr. Nick. You like that?
It's been a long time. It's been a long time. I'm reading them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
You're on there with some good company.
I'm telling you.
The next person that comes in, I'm gonna tell them, you're on there with some good company.
Who was the first to sign it?
The first person to sign it.
I think it might have been Broyles. No, Mason Harrell. And he actually just won Sun Belt Conference with Texas State.
Nice. You guys got some names on here.
Ryan Broyles, Rayford Young.
Rayford.
Dominic Bailey.
All right, so next time you talk to Ray, you got to talk to him about, when you do Zooms or things. So I talked to him, and in his office, he doesn't have a picture of Trey. He has a picture of himself playing behind him.
That is dope. Hey man, you're in enough offices probably, and you're in these gyms. You don't need to be in here. Oh, that's funny.
There we go. Scribbled on the line.
Let me see that there.
Right there.
There it is.
That's my Hancock. Little bitty.
Oh man.
I want to give room for the big people.
Hey, we're gonna have to get another basketball here soon.
Yes, you do.
All white one next time.
All white.
No, you got to do that. I didn't do that. But I knocked over a lot of stuff in my life. I didn't do that.
You sound like me. I didn't do it.
Yeah. So you got to have basketballs everywhere. That's what you do. You don't get
Right.
one white one. You have them just.
It's sitting around.
Yeah. Season 1, season 2, season 3.
That's true. So we'll have to get you to come back and sign season 3. Because that means you got to go back and get all the signatures for season 1.
Or you can do 1 through 3 here and then start with 4, 5, and 6 on the next.
You're
I'm trying to help you out.
I like that
He's
one.
such a good thinking on his feet. He's like, nope, I'm not coming back.
Any day.
Let me find a way to get
I want
out
to
of
sit
this,
in
though.
that seat and interview you two, though.
No, that'd be fun.
I want to flip
That'd
it
be
on
fun.
you.
Well, y'all came back for the blooper reel. Appreciate you.
Season 3.
That was easy.
Yeah. Yeah. Sound good, don't it? Check. Yeah. Look. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Look. Life tried to drown me. This hoop is like my life jacket. This ice in my veins is sunk the Titanic. Lockdown defense kept me out the center for detention. Divine intervention passes over to my center. Alleyways are the alley-oops. Some got no looks and passed away when somebody shoot. Back in court duo, but nobody hoops. The wrists follow through in the cuffs. Got a loop, pick a book up, picked up and get booked. It's just you and I, out running suicides. Me, I was out running suicide. Boy, I'm going in, dropping gems that I picked up in these gyms. I can't slack, I've been down and back. I'm just trying to share a few tales from this thing called life. Count my assists, man, I swear that basketball really saved my life. Yeah, yeah. I swear it saved my life. Let's go.